But the question is now, where do we start? Where do we go? Because right now it's so much to do, and because of how big and and fragmented the issues are, where would you recommend to start to try and get these things moving? You know what I mean?
That is the hardest. That is a million
Right?
dollar question.
Right?
I
Exactly. Because
think the model has to start with one country because there's a lot of us, right?
yeah,
And sometimes then other people can look at the other model and say, hey, but on the economic front, you'd say, well, how is nobody then looking at South Africa? Because South Africa is is a better economy, right? But South Africa's problems also overshadow its shine. Like nobody wants to be like South Africa. We want the infrastructure. We don't want the cultural infiltration that has happened to today's South Africa. Can we do it as a black nation where we don't use South Africa's example, where we know in South Africa, it feels more like here in the US, it's the control of white people that have made that country developed. You know what I'm saying? Same
yeah,
with Harare in Zimbabwe. When the Zim farmers left, the agriculture output went from number one in Africa to number 30, like literally in 6 months. That's how quickly they went down. You know what
that's
I'm saying?
embarrassing.
Because they
Yeah,
didn't teach their people how to farm before they took the farms. So they gave the farms to people that didn't have the money to farm it. And because they wanted to cover up their shame, the government started giving them free farming inputs. Well, if you already started farming with such a big loss because you have to give all these farmers these inputs and they don't know how to farm at that scale, your output is going to be less. So it's still going to create that food shortage. So politically and for the media, it's good. It sounds good. It makes us feel good. It makes all black nations, the guys in the Caribbeans, even some black Americans will feel good about this. Because yeah, for once we took our land. The reality is that, and Zanu said this on one of his conversations, we have to admit when we're not good at something. And management has not been our biggest strength. We're good at sports, we're good at music, we can dance, we can beat everybody in a race when we're physically running. And the Europeans accept that. They know that they cannot beat us. Some of them try, right? Some of them try, which is the same as us. Some of us try. But we have to also accept that certain things are not our strength. Doesn't mean we cannot learn. Yeah, we can learn. When something is not your strength, you can also learn. But because we feel bad about accepting that it's not our strength, it's hindering our ability to learn. Because
yes.
you can go to Harvard Business School and learn how to manage a business.
Hmm.
There's a
Hmm.
reason people pay $90,000 to do an MBA at Harvard. I mean, the networking is one thing. You can make an argument as if it's the best. It's probably not, right? But it exposes you to people that think a certain way. And to them, that's what an Ivy League education is. An Ivy League education still uses the same textbook that I use in Illinois, but Illinois doesn't have the networks
Yeah.
that a Harvard would give you. And you don't have the peer thinking that will have this conversation. Like I put this guy in the back because he was destroying the chat. There was a black guy in the chat talking, like doing the FBA talk, but
Oh,
this
I saw it.
conversation is
Yeah.
not about FBAs, right?
Yeah. They want to be
So
censored.
yeah, I don't like to censor people. I like people to voice out their opinions. But this is a more intelligent conversation because I've actually had him on the chat, right?
Yeah.
This is a more intelligent conversation that we're having that concerns us that we're actually more interested in, right? This is something really
Yeah, of course.
serious. So we don't have the time to be answering some of the questions you was putting in the chat.
When I was on TikTok, one of the most viral videos I had on my page got over 1 million views. I
Who?
was, I was, yeah. I mean, that's not doesn't it's not much on TikTok, to be honest with you. I'd rather have 1 million on YouTube than on TikTok. Just, but that's as an aside. Um, But yeah, it's still something. It's good. But the thing is, that video, I got a lot of hate comments, even some threats. I was saying the ego of the black man needs to be studied. That was the theme of it. Now, what was it all about? It was about how, as black men, right, if we take our countries, the black man's countries, the white man's countries, the Asian man's countries, the Latino man's countries, you can probably see where I'm heading with this, right? It's more, why is it that there is no one country built by black men? And that it ties into what you mentioned about, knowing what you're good at. Why don't we have our own developed countries? I think we, as black men particularly, we have gotten very comfortable with this victim mentality. I think. I don't know what you think, but I'm probably sure we probably share the same
Yep.
outlook on this. I think we have gotten very, 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 very comfortable with victim mentality in America, in Africa, globally. Or it's always somebody else's fault. Or we cannot develop Africa because of colonization, like buddies. That was done. Or slavery, bro. That's done. It was traumatic. It was whatever, whatever. We're in 2025 now, bro. Why are
Yeah.
we not in those rooms? When we are talking about economy, Nana, there's no black man there. When we are talking about the top military, there's no black country. Like this is it's something that we need to talk about. I would have
Yeah.
said Nigeria should be there, but it's a failure. You
Yeah.
know, and when white people say, "Oh, they cannot lead themselves," and we get angry, well, shit, prove them wrong. you
Yeah. Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? You
Show me
put it
one.
in,
Yeah. Show me one. Yeah. Just prove them wrong.
yeah.
Prove them wrong. Like, look at the NBA, right? And again, I don't want this to be an NBA conversation, but look at the NBA. The teams, there's only Jordan that owns the team, and his team is the worst team out there.
It's
We
it's
don't
it's
want to. This is a global black problem.
it is a global black problem, and I'm
You
very
know,
very curious to actually flesh
Haiti,
it out.
Haiti had the most potential
But look
because
at it today.
one of the best beaches in that part of the Caribbean was sit in Haiti without the wars. And what would make Haiti even more attractive is the Haitians kept their Africanness.
Yes, they're
They're
proudly
like
African.
the black guys in around Charleston, South Carolina. There's a black ethnicity there that preserved their African culture. They even speak Creole.
Mm.
I think they're called the Gulan or whatever. That's the only African American group in the Americas or in America proper that have even uh, a patois sound, and their English sounds more like Liberian English mixed with patois. Gala. That's an ethnic group. If you
Hmm.
haven't heard them, we'll probably play out. If I remember this, I'll bring them back. I'll play a video where you see them. I heard one of the ladies speaking because I was curious. Somebody put it in our chat. So I said, let me look this stuff up. And I plan to visit them. I think next year I'll make a visit there because the few things I saw on YouTube, if I show this to any African or any Caribbean person, you will not ever accept anything Tariq Nasheed says about black people being here in the US before that. I saw this in Colombia too, in Palenque. Me and a group of Ghanaian guys went to Palenque, which is the Afro-Colombian town, where they, after they built the murallas in Cartagena, they ran away from the Spaniards so that they were not shipped to other parts of South America to be enslaved, right? So they were freed in Palenque. It's about an hour, 20 minutes from Cartagena. When you go to Palenque, as you're driving in, you start seeing Africa. The way their tombstones were made and are still being made, Africa. I even have a picture. I'll find this. I have a picture of mud houses in Palenque with sticks and mud till this very day in Palenque. We parked and we took a picture of it. When we got into Palenque, we paid for their tour. So they took us to show us, their history and stuff. Their language sounds like the Congolese language. They preserved it. They actually speak it. Banco. is the guy that fought for their independence. So he has a statue there. When there were some Black American tourists there too. When we got to the place, the museum place, they had a tumpan and some native African drums that they had made there in Palenque using sheepskin like we did in Africa, right? So me and the boys from Ghana, we started doing our Jama routine. You know how we come together and start singing those high school African things where we're drumming? So we start doing that. And every Black American that was there took their phones out and they were taking pictures. The two other palenqueros that were doing the tour, and I have a video of this, so I'll post this on the channel for reference. They joined us in the drumming. The Black Americans did not join us in the drumming. These are people from two different parts of the world, Africa and South America. One group is speaking Spanish and Palenque language, the other group is speaking Ghanaian language. We've never come into contact with each other. But we're able to drum to the Jama that we were singing enough to impress another group of Africans. This is something that when Africans move to the US, the missing opportunity here is that Black Americans could have um, met us with some curiosity to learn some of our folk lore, our stories that our grandfathers told us, right? I'm not saying reunite with the continent, but it's clearly it was very interesting to them. You know what I'm saying? It was very interesting to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think they are missing out because Tariq Nasheed has started this thing where maybe, yeah, we're doing different things economically. We have, there's a battle from left to right against each other. But when all that noise is removed, there's a piece of culture that they can gain back. The same way we pass it on to our children, we can pass it on to them so that they can revive a lot of this thing that was lost, because it was actually very beautiful thing. And they know it's beautiful because I saw them react to it in Palenque. I'm sure I have clips of me on Instagram somewhere that I don't even know. Right? Because we jumped to that thing for like 30 minutes, bro. Yeah, it was good. They were dancing themselves too. They were just with their phones out and dancing themselves.
Yeah. I personally believe that the future of our respective countries in Africa, the future lies in our hands. The Africans, the intellectual Africans in the diaspora. I think so. Now the question is, how do we harness our collective power to influence our politics? That's what I think. Why? Why do I think it lies in our hands? We have access to resources, right? To foreign currency. I mean, we send $22 billion annually to the continent. Yeah. That is power. Like, I don't imagine if we can now use that to just take a fraction of that to now lobby. Because that's one thing I've noticed with us as Africans, right? With us black as Africans, we don't. I don't give up hope on the continent because we have not really done what we are supposed to do. If we do those things and we fail, then maybe we can give up. We don't lobby. We have not really, most of us don't vote.
Okay.
Most of us don't vote. Most Africans don't vote. We don't lobby. We don't try to get the right candidate into office. We just let things happen and complain. At least in Nigeria. I can tell you that much. Most Nigerians don't vote. Most Nigerians don't vote. And when you say have you voted? Oh, nothing happens in voting. Okay, so what? So that means you're not doing anything about it then. Okay, to the elite, to the Nigerian in the diaspora, what are we doing to influence the political theater? Are we talking to our politicians? Are we funding politicians? See, this is one thing I learned about America, and I love about America. America is all about this. Put your money where your mouth is, or shut up. That's it. Put your money where your mouth is, or get the F out. That's one thing. The black Americans, for example, they complain a lot. But the thing is, how many politicians are you guys funding? You guys are protesting.
They have a problem, and Isaac also said it. They have a problem that we also have, is that Even when they funded politicians, those politicians also want to fund their own pockets.
Yeah,
They just indicted a congresswoman in Florida this week for channeling FEMA funds. So FEMA, since you live in Europe, FEMA is like the agency that helps out doing natural disasters, right?
yeah, yeah.
Florida has a lot of those disasters. So all the funds that were declared to help her constituents, which are predominantly minorities and black people, this woman channeled millions of dollars into her own business. How do we fix it? Okay. I really, we usually want to see everything is done probably with like a micro example where you pick one small state, and then when the results are great, everybody wants to kind of lean towards that and maybe then practice it, right? But we don't have that example. And I guess where I got lost was when I was talking about how Haiti had a unique opportunity and they blew it up.
My dad also tried to do a couple of things on the waste management side. It just it never went anywhere. Just people were just looking after themselves, their pockets, and sacrificing the greater good for their base interest. Which is which is weird. I mean, but I'm still going to rack my brain and figure out what to do. That's why for me, I like tech a lot. I think tech you can deal directly with people. You can do skills transfer. I know you've mentioned about trainings and things like that. You can deal directly with the end user. You don't need as much. I think the less you need to depend on governmental structures, the better for you. For example, I'm going to say this and I have to hop off. Um, Social media has been such a massive net positive to the average Nigerian youth. I will tell you that for free, Nana. Because now, instead of you hoping to God that somebody's going to give you a quote unquote job that is somewhere that that is wherever where they give to their cronies, a person now can pick up their phone, open TikTok, do a couple of dance or be funny, show their talents directly to the audience, and bam, they've built a following. People can book them for shows. Some of them get paid. Some of them can sell products. It's been a game changer, a massive
Yep.
game changer, and it's created employment for
Yeah.
people that would probably have been on the pipeline trying to running all over the place. It's giving them access to other people. They can now learn. They can learn skills from people like that are somewhere in the world.
And let me
The
ask you
skills.
this, right? Why is
Yeah,
that? Why has social media or these platforms been able to make that change? Why?
it's a free market.
Yes, there we go. You see,
It's a free
everything
market.
circles back to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
clean free market. There's no government control. The only time there's government control in social media is when they're trying to shut down the opposition.
Yeah. No, no, I get you. I get you.